we're gonna look at our rules, okay? And for our rules, this is the book that we use. This is the K53 we use for that because assembly, it puts them nice, you know, it groups them nice than other documents. So yeah, so let's look at it. First things first, why do we have our rules? Why do we have our rules? But before I jump into that, guys, I hope you see on the right hand side there, I'm having a document, right? That document will help me to make sure that I cover all of those important rules, okay? So yeah, that's the document that we'll be following for this. Okay, so why do we have AMA rules? First things first, right? We have AMA rules of the road simply because first is to regulate traffic flow, number 2 to ensure safety, and number 3 to protect AMA rights of AMA road users. Apparently AMA rules people do the way they like, right? And that results into AMA accidents and stuff like that. So yeah, when people have a standard way of ukuthi drive njani whenever we are on the road, yeah, rules help us with that. All right, so let's look at the general rules. Okay, Kuma general rules, the first thing there that we're going to talk about is this rule, which is called the rule of the road. It's a very important rule here in Mzansi. And what is that rule then? That rule says if you are traveling on a two-way road, right? If I'm traveling on a two-way road, I must keep left as possible, right? So that really works for just a two-way road with a single lane on each side of the road, right? So if there's one lane which is going up, one lane which is going down, stuff like that. So if you are traveling in such, both of you must keep the left hand side. Make sure that you keep the left hand side as far as it's safe. The second one there, it will be a rule about a traffic officer's instructions. Alright, so that one says the traffic officer's instructions, they are above AMA rules, AMA markings, AMA signals, you know, everything that you have, you learn in this. Okay, so what that means, it means they are the ones who can actually break AMA rules. An example would be if you are in a non-stopping area and the traffic officer says you must stop, you should stop because they tell you. All right, moving on. The other rule under my general rules, it's about the license desk. You know, every car that's on a public road, right? The rule is it must have this desk, license desk, right? So it is a small paper which has a date, your expire name, right? So it's a license desk. It has more information, engine number, and all of those kind of things in it, right? So this, every vehicle that is on the road, it must have that. Now, like I said, that license desk, it has an expiring date of which is 12 months. That's the period for it. After every 12 months, we renew this, right? And if you didn't renew it in 12 months, right, should 12 months pass without you renewing, you'll be given an extended time to renew it, and that time is called a grace period, which is 21 days. So make sure that you do understand that every car must have this license desk. All right. Yeah, so that was the third rule there. The fourth one, it will be a rule about maintaining a self-following distance. Whenever you follow someone, right, you must keep a safe following distance. And under that, we have two rules that tell us whether, that govern whether we drive a light motor vehicle or a heavy motor vehicle. And those rules is that you must keep a 2 seconds if you are driving a light motor vehicle, and 3 seconds distance if you are driving a heavy motor vehicle, right? And if you're my student, you already know me. I don't like why they call them 2 seconds. Instead, they should be called a 2 meter, no 3 meter rule, right? You should keep a 2 meter distance on a light motor vehicle and 3 meters rule on a heavy motor vehicle. That only applies if we are talking about favorable conditions, you know, your normal conditions, right? Like the weather is fine, it's sunny, the road that you're traveling on is dry gas, you know, the speed that you're traveling on is not high, it's a normal speed, the vehicle that you're driving is not loaded, you know, then yeah, those things apply under those circumstances. But other than that, if you are driving on unfavorable conditions, meaning the road is wet, right? You're driving at a higher speed, and the vehicle that you are driving, it's heavy. In that case, that safe following distance, it increases to what? There's no measurement, right? There's no measurement, but what is being said is that that distance should be in such a way that if the person who's in front of you suddenly stops, right, when you will be able to stop your vehicle without swerving. Okay, and swerving, it means you won't go out of the way, maybe go to the other lane, stuff like that, and also causing an accident, right? So if you can stop your vehicle without swerving, then yeah, you have maintained a good following distance in those unfavorable conditions. Okay, moving on. The last one here, Kuma general rules, is that whenever you are traveling on a two-way route like this, right? So if the only time I get to drive to this right hand side here, maybe let's just say I was overtaking someone, right? I can only do that if it is safe to do so, right? I can only come to the right hand side if it is safe to do so. Well, this rule, it applies for both, whether it's a two-way road or one-way road. Whenever you change a lane just to another lane, or you are turning, you can only do those things only if it's safe to do so. Other than that, nope. So yeah, that was the last rule there.